All right, welcome everyone to another Sunday Fun Day podcast. Does that work? Do you like that one?
Sure.
Sunday Fun Day.
Sunday Fun Day.
Sunday Fun Day.
Sunday.
Yeah, it's like the motorcycle races.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Or like monster
Monster
truck. Yeah.
There you go.
Monster
Sunday,
trucks.
Sunday.
Bone Crusher will be
Bone Crusher.
Bone Crusher. That's some Spider-Man.
Is it? I got 5 minutes of playtime. Is that the line?
I think so.
No, that's Bone Saw.
Oh.
It's not, Bone Saw.
So welcome for those of you guys joining us the first time. We are Mikereative, a channel dedicated to messing up our lines and
You messed up your
Dropping
line.
pens
dropping
and
pens.
drinking before we cheers.
This is true.
Sorry, guys.
This is true. We usually have a beer of the show. We have a Sunday podcast, and we just talk about kind of daily events or things that happen in our lives that we like to share. So you guys have something to listen to on your commute to work or on a lazy Sunday afternoon. So welcome. Check us out on other social media links like Facebook and Instagram. You guys have anything to say?
Welcome back, Javi. It's been
Yeah,
quite
welcome
some time.
back, Javi. It has been a while.
I
I'm
got
sure there are
lost, guys.
some fans who are going to be very happy that you're here.
I was kidnapped. Danny, throw it up. What's up?
Yeah. We have a basement. He was down there tied up for a while.
Yeah, I was hogtied.
Breaking Bad style.
I was hogtied. Breaking Bad style.
Yeah, remember the very first season when they tied up the dude
In the
and
basement.
they'd feed him and then they ended up
Oh,
killing
yeah,
him in the
yeah.
tub and
Yeah.
he grabbed the wrong plastic and fucked everything
I
up.
can remember now. It's been a long time.
Fun stuff.
It's been years.
Let's do beer of the show before we start off all the articles and the fun catching up to do. Javi, what beer do we have?
Well, we are drinking the Weihenstephaner Festbier. It's a
I shouldn't be drinking this.
beer from Germany, Oktoberfest beer. Says it's a full, rich-bodied, hoppy seasonal lager, especially brewed for the Festbier season. This beer truly represents the Bavarian way of celebrating. Deep gold color, great mouthfeel, and lots of flavor. Prost.
Prost! And this one's in a traditional Stein.
Mine's in a Las Vegas cup.
His is in a boot.
Mine's in a boot. Das
That's
Boot.
Figured.
It's not as sweet as I was expecting it to be.
No, not like the.
I told you, it's a little bitter.
Not like the Gundelschmeier.
Yeah.
That one was great.
Yeah.
That one was nice, but that was like honey, whereas this
Yeah.
one's a little bit more. I guess it has more of a full body because they have it kind of that taste of. It's rich. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's rich. It's not sweet, but it's like a rich on the other side of the spectrum. It's interesting. I like it.
This one has a very, very, light, almost non-existent, aroma.
Yeah.
Like, opposite to what that one had. That one had, like, a Coors Light smell.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. It's funny how we got one thing down from in American beers. We got the smell down right from German beers,
Right.
but we didn't get the taste. We know this
Can't win 'em
because
all.
our German friends told us that our beers are crap.
American beers. American beers.
America.
American
America.
beers. Budweiser.
So what's new, guys? Javi, what's new? What's been going on?
I was lost,
Yeah.
and now I'm found.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Vince, what's new with you? You were-
Absolutely fucking nothing.
You were found and you were found and never lost.
I was never lost. Always here. Always present.
Very nice. I recently went and saw a musical in LA called Dear Evan Hansen. It was a really cool play. It spoke on let's see, it kind of consisted around teenagers, and it talked about suicide and depression and anxiety mostly. It was mostly about like this one. The main character is a very just has so much anxiety. He actually has to take medication for it to calm himself down. And he was given a by the psychologist. He was given okay, here's your homework to do. Go home and you're gonna write a letter to yourself, and you're gonna start it with, "Dear Evan Hansen, today's going to be a really good day." And he just, is overthinking on this story, like, oh, it's gonna be a really good day, unless I forget to put deodorant on. Oh, but I mean, I could just do it right now because I'm not even at school yet. And so he's just like really kind of like has that anxiety like going on, and he doesn't end up finishing the letter. He finishes at school, and that's where the play kind of starts going on, where another kid ends up committing suicide, and he kind of gets involved, or like not willingly, but he falls into like getting involved of like people thinking that they were best friends type of thing.
Okay.
And so then because he's such an anxiety type ridden person, he ends up like lying about it, and then the whole play is about him trying to figure out like how to fix it or how to get it, like make it better type of thing. But it really spoke to me, especially as like a kid in my high school years going through like depression and whatnot. Like it really kind of like had a good take on like that high school life and that kind of drama that you don't really see as a parent coming in or looking in, or as an outsider looking in at some student. You know what I mean? You don't know what they're really thinking, but a lot of the internalization in the play was really interesting to see that it was spoken of, and it actually had a voice, and it actually like, you're not alone. There's other people that think like this too. You know what I mean? Like, and I was telling, I was telling my girlfriend when we went and watched it afterwards, I was saying, wow, if I would watch this in high school, it would have been like an eye opener for me. It would have been something that would have been like, I'm not alone in this. I'm not alone in how I'm feeling or thinking, or, you know what I mean? Like how I express my emotions, or how whatever, because there are other people who literally have created this, and they've been thinking the same thing because they were able to get it down on paper and get it down into a musical and get it down into song and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It was a really cool play. So if you guys are in the LA area, I would suggest checking out that. It's won 6 Tony Awards, which is like a musical art kind of...
Wait, so what's it called again?
Dear Evan Hansen.
Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So check it out if you're in the LA area. They might be touring, so I think they're in LA now, and they might be going to other places. So if you're in other areas, look it up and see if they're going to be coming to your town. Really good stuff. Really good stuff.
So it's similar to like that Netflix series, like 13 Reasons Why, only not as annoying.
Well, it wasn't annoying. It had a lot of like comedy kind of bits to it. You know what I mean? Because of his anxiety, they used that as like a comedic crutch to kind of get people to really engage in that character and everything. So it was it was good because a lot of the songs were, heartfelt. A lot of them were really funny. You know what I mean? And then I like the way they do text messages too on the stage, where they show up. They show up in like a box that's lit up, almost like a phone. Your phone lights up like an iPhone type of thing, and they're standing on it and they're just talking back and forth, and that you can interpret as their messaging back and forth. But they're on separate areas of the stage that all have like light boxes. So if it's like a three-way kind of group conversation, there's 3 people and all separately, so that there's darkness in between the light boxes, and they're standing inside of them. It's a really cool way of like showing texting too. And on a stage setting. I thought that was really creative.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
No screens, nothing. It was just straight.
There was some screenage.
Oh, there was some screen? Okay.
Yeah, there were like these clear screens that you could see behind as well, but they had like images that would pop up because it's very social media based. So they would have like, oh, this thing showed up on YouTube, check it out kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And you would see that kind of flashing around the stage as they're talking about it, and like... And so it's really kind of like engaging. Yeah. Everyone's seeing like the video. Cool. It was really neat. Really, really neat.
That's pretty cool.
So, if you guys want to check it out, if it piques your interest, check it out. Really good stuff. And let's move on to the next thing.
Yes. Sip first.
So, Fantastic Beasts is coming out next week.
Is it already next week?
Yeah, Thursday.
Wow.
It's coming
That
out
came by quick.
Thursday.
October was just like...
Side note, if you guys see me messing with my hands, I'm really itchy because I got bit by something, and it's really killing me. I don't know what, but
It was down
I
in the
have
basement.
like 20
Something happened.
different bite marks all over the place.
We shouldn't have left them there that long.
I know. Seriously. They didn't even feed me.
So why you're so
Yeah, I know, right, Rosie? You see?
You okay, Rosie?
She's like, same. Same.
She's like, they never feed
Yeah,
me.
they left me alone and didn't feed me.
There it is. There it is.
No, you did not catch it.
There it is.
Oh, that's not a mosquito, though.
What? Yeah, it totally is.
That is not... It, oh,
That's
it is a
mosquito.
baby mosquito.
You get it?
Sorry, guys. Short little delay. This is important.
And all of your babies are dead. Did you get it?
No, I didn't get it. It was right.
I feel like that's one up there. That little black speck right there.
No, I think that's a web. That's not moving though. Okay, well, so what did Mashable say about the review?
They said that the plot just doesn't work. Like, there's just so much going on. There's, like, subplots within the plot, and there's subplots within those subplots as well.
Wait,
You
so
know.
is this following the movie? I mean, is this following the book at all, or is
There's
it
no
just...
book. This is her just strictly writing a screenplay.
Oh, okay.
So all the
she's
Fantastic
terrible
Beasts-
screenplay writer.
You know, she's a great book writer, but you can't fit everything in to.
A
That's
movie,
why
yeah.
they scrunch things down in the movie versions of it. Where here she's writing the actual screenplays of it. Maybe she's just overwriting or
Yeah.
over. You know what I mean?
I mean, which
The
is...
first half, they say, is all setting up this big thing in Paris because that's where this movie takes place. So there's going to be 5 movies, and each movie is going to take place in a different European, or not European, but a different city. So the first one was in New York, right? The second one's now in Paris. So then it's just going to kind of like take place in different cities, each of the 5 movies. So the first half they're saying is just them setting up the fact that they're going to be in Paris and all the characters are going to be there or doing whatever they're doing. And then the half of the second half, the quarter part, is kind of them trying to figure out certain puzzles and they just don't work.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Or as far as Mashable says, the puzzles aren't interesting enough to even just be into trying to solve them with the characters.
What
You know what I mean?
what puzzles? I mean, they're just...
I mean, you think of like Chamber of Secrets, where Harry Potter's trying to figure out what this monster thing that he's hearing that only he can hear. So it's a kind of puzzle. It's like, what is this monster? What are you trying to figure out? Oh, it's a monster that so and so had like thousands of years ago. You know what I mean? And so it's like those puzzles that you are slowly figuring out these meticulous little details and being
Yeah.
able to figure out together with the character what is happening. They're saying that the puzzles that they're trying to figure out or that they're laying in front of the audience aren't enticing enough for them to be like, why do I care about this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you think she's just trying to replicate what she did in Harry Potter?
I think for sure she is.
Yeah.
She has a model of writing or a way of how she writes, and she does really, really well. I mean, she did 7 books that were amazing.
I feel like she should have written a book, or written it all out, not
book style.
in a book style,
Yeah.
and then had them interpret it
As
into
screenplay.
a
screenplay.
Yeah.
I think that would have worked out better because
think
obviously
so.
they're gonna see what fits and what doesn't fit, what they can do without someone telling them, "Hey, you need to do this." No, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna slowly add that in there, or
Yeah.
like add that in the background.
Right.
Yeah. So I think
I get that. I think her challenge was I've done books. You know what I mean?
I think she's such a good writer
I've
that
done
she was
many-
able to give so much detailed information.
Yeah.
That
She
that
has
she
the
should have
online
just
presence.
written. She should have just written the book.
And then,
even if it didn't get published, it's just a book that they can base the story off of and then go off. Because I mean, even if she does write it, she could still make money and then end up selling it, and people will buy it.
yeah. No, I think she herself wanted to have a personal challenge of being able to write a screenplay.
Oh,
instead.
I see.
Right? She did the books. She's done novellas. She's done like Pottermore, which is like the internet presence that she has. Yeah, she has little novels like
Maria,
like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Maria?
And so she wanted to try out, screenwriting, which is it's just cool. But I think I don't know for sure. I guess we can figure it out if after this podcast, if she actually had a co-writer who was an experienced screenplay writer helping her out.
Did she write the first
Fantastic Beasts?
So she wrote that first original one.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was
Fantastic Beasts. It was good.
Yeah,
it was good.
I think what she's doing is she's trying to
expand on that.
She wanted 3 movies. Then she pushed for 5, and Warner Brothers was like, okay, cool, 5. So what I think she's doing is because towards the end of the Mashable article, it talks about how this one almost just seems like a setup for the sequel that's the 3rd one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just a bridge, a transition period of,
Is that how she wrote out Harry Potter when she actually did it, to where there was always kind of like a...
No, in the books, every book had its own development and arc. But then overall 7, she had an overarching arc.
I think because of the fact that it has to be such a smaller...
She outlined everything in the very beginning and knew what direction she was trying to go into because she knew what the 7th book was going to be about. So she knew the 1st book, she knew the 7th book, and then she's trying to just create bridges and connections to connect to the 7th one. Mm-hmm. So each one, she's not really focusing on like trying to get to the 7th one. She is, but she's also trying to just focus on creating an arc in that book or creating a full-on story each time with its subplots and its little things, right? Little details that like don't pertain to the story but are still good stuff. We're good. So she does it well. I think she just needed to prepare, or at least maybe because she was kind of like, oh, they approved of 5. Maybe she just overwrote in the screenplay or overwrote in what. I mean, I'm gonna watch it and we can do a review. You know what I mean? Like you guys should come along and watch it too, and then we can all kind of do like that Thursday night. Like sit down and talk about what we think about the movie. You know what I mean? Because it catches up exactly after the first Fantastic Beasts. So it's just
Did they complain? It was just specifically just plots. Is that all they really complained about? Was just the plots and the subplots?
It was the plot, and then they complained about some of like the actors. Like they say like Jude Law does a good job, but it just they wanted to see more. You know what I mean? They talked about Johnny Depp and how he does a good enough job that you forget about his personal life. You know what I mean? Which I know a lot of critics look at that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. About what he did, and how people are against him even being in the movie in the first place. But it just what they had a hard time with was just that there's so many characters that had their own plots and had their own things that they were just trying to like. It just everything kind of seemed congested and rushed, and then the third act was just like they were saying it was like a travesty to kind of even get into being. It was just a focus on trying to get to the next movie. You know what I mean? Yeah. To me, it sounds like there's no real ending, right?
It's all just build up.
It's all build up, and then kind of cliffhanger ending, and then you're on to the third one type of thing.
I can see how that's disappointing.
Yeah, but you have to imagine if this whole arc.
I feel like they do that in a lot of movies, though.
The whole 5 movies are all about going after Grindelwald. You can't take out Grindelwald in the second movie. What are you going to do with the rest of the 3 movies? You know what I mean? Yeah. So it has to be built up to like you're going to attack them. It's not going to go well. You're going to fail, and now you have to start over again in the 3rd movie. When you brought up Star Wars a little bit, where it has to kind of that's like The Last Jedi. Maybe she's writing it in a way that. As of right now, it looks convoluted and like really just a lot to deal with. But then when you actually see it in the whole 5 movies, it's like, oh wow, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, that little touch that they added into the story that didn't seem like, or seemed like it was out of place, makes sense. Because a lot of The Last Jedi, in my opinion, that the next movie, Episode 9, is going to answer a lot of those questions that fans are like having issues with.
Mm-hmm.
They better.
And
Nine is the last one in the series, correct?
No.
9 is the last one in this
trilogy.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they're gonna start over again. And then it's gonna be Chewbacca's children is gonna be, and then Chewbacca's children are gonna be Jedis.
Like a prequel of the prequel. Prequel of the prequels.
I would love that because there's a really cool.
A sequel prequel.
There's a really cool.
Prequel.
It's now non-canon, but a book series. That was prequel before Qui-Gon Jinn got his apprentice Obi-Wan, and he had a different apprentice, and that apprentice turned bad, and so it was like a 3-book arc that talked about like that. And
Is there a spoiler to that? I mean, like, is it a known person who turned bad, or
it's non-canon, so it doesn't
it's non-canon, yeah.
But
no. It's an author that just created this apprentice that Qui-Gon had while Qui-Gon was young, but still a master and a master Jedi, able to have apprentices. So before he had Obi-Wan, he had this this person, you know, who was really, really good, but was like starting to kind of turn into almost like an Anakin type of figure. But he was like a presence that turned bad type of thing, and Qui-Gon had to take him out.
Which would be really cool, because Obi-Wan had that, didn't he, with Anakin, and then Luke, and then Luke had that with
Kylo. So there's just like repeating.
And it's just like repeating.
Yeah.
So it'd be really cool for him to actually have an apprentice that went bad before. Yeah. Because with the bad, it always followed up with the good.
Mm-hmm.
So
which would be Obi-Wan.
Cool. That's a really cool concept.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like the next series, I think from what I think is going to happen, is going to be the series that shows how Kylo Ren got into power. Not just going into. Obviously, we kind of know the story of how he became bad.
Okay.
So just
kind of he got the push that he got because of Luke Skywalker, but that actual story where he starts to become,
and possibly Snoke.
And
I would like to see that, like
Snoke,
him speaking into his ear type of thing. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was like across the galaxy, him speaking to his into his ear.
Yeah.
Trying to turn him bad, and that's why he ended up making those decisions. You know, because of what Luke did, had that moment of like.
Yeah, I think getting rid of Snoke that soon was really bad.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they still have however many movies.
There's that theory that he's not actually
dead.
True.
That's an interesting.
That he's so powerful because he's able to speak to someone from across the galaxy. The theory says that he can leave his body type of thing, and he still be a powerful force to like create a body or to go into another body, kind of like Jedi possession or something, or Sith possession,
or maybe he was a what's that what was it that Luke Skywalker did when he got stabbed by Kylo Ren, where he was a force projection.
Yeah.
What if he pretended that he wasn't?
He wasn't actually in that area.
Yeah. What if he
projecting?
Yeah. He was force projecting, and then he just kind of
and that would make sense
passed out
because that's what Luke did. So
yeah, it would be a really interesting force projection because he was split in half or in pieces based on the lightsaber. You know what I mean? So he'd have to like project that image and keep it up.
But if you're that powerful, I'm sure you can mess around with your projection. Your projection is not your actual body.
Right. That's true. Definitely true. Definitely true to.
Awesome.
I'm excited for 9 because of what happened at 8. You know what I mean? Or at least the step that Rian Johnson took to try to be different than all the other films. You know what I mean? Like it was like Empire Strikes Back, where it was just so different from A New Hope that people were like kind of like, no, this is. They actually got really bad reviews in the first year that it came out initially, and then they realized after the third one, they were like, oh my god, it all makes sense. The reason why they chose to go this path or to go this way, and so I kind of hope that's what happens with The Last Jedi, because I enjoyed it except for that Canto Bite casino scene. They could remove that whole scene,
The whole
and
scene,
I would be
yeah.
like,
But
yeah,
I
it's
like
a really good movie.
But I like the racehorse type scene type shit.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah.
I'll do a miniseries just for you.
So we went from Harry.
Disney announced their Disney Plus, which is their service, Netflix-like subscription. It's called Disney Plus. They just announced it, and that's when they announced Loki having its own TV series.
Really?
And then
With the
a few
original
other
actor, or?
Marvel. I'm not sure.
Loki?
Mm.
A Loki TV series, kind of like Netflix did like Daredevil.
Yeah.
They're gonna do like a Disney Plus Loki's TV series, a live action, like 10 episode type of thing.
What?
Yeah, isn't that interesting? I don't know if they're gonna use
What's his name?
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston.
I don't know if they're gonna use him, but that'd be cool if they do.
That would
If
be
they
cool.
do, that would be awesome.
He did love playing Loki. You know what I mean? And he was super sad when
Loki was killed off.
yeah, when he was like done for type of thing.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
And honestly, as awesome as he was in those movies, how many other movies do you see him in? He doesn't come out in that many other movies. As good as he is, he should be in a lot of other movies.
Yeah.
And I do see him getting some good roles, but he's not getting the roles he should be getting. So I honestly
Maybe
feel
one
like
day.
he probably will be getting. He probably will do it just because he loves it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was me, hell yeah, I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat. Like, if you like a role, I mean, how many movies has he come out as Loki in? 4? He came out in the Thor movie. Oh, that's 3.
The 3 Thor movies.
And
3.
then like
Avengers.
So
All of
5
the
5
Avenger
because
movies?
the 2 Avenger movies. I don't think he came out in
Civil War.
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron. I don't think he came
was
out
in
in.
that.
He didn't come out in Age of Ultron. At least I don't remember him being.
Unless
in
he
Age
was
of
that
Ultron.
extra egg cameo type of thing at the end. But that's
Oh, yeah,
nothing,
that's
you know,
right, yeah.
But then he was in Infinity War. So
He was in Infinity War.
Yeah.
He was in a lot
for
of
like a.
movies.
I feel like he's gonna be in 4
I hope he is.
because I still
I
think
think
that there's
so.
gonna
I
be
think
like
he's-
time reversal.
What's the next topic?
Oh, since we're still on the topic of Avengers,
Oh.
Avengers 4,
Ooh.
which doesn't even have its like supposed it's going to spoiler the movie title yet. It does have a runtime that they announced of 3 hours, which is going to be the longest Marvel movie to date.
That means I'll actually be able to build a plot.
Yeah.
For fucking once.
Yeah.
Actually, this last Marvel's, the Infinity Wars was actually really good. I really liked this last one.
Yeah,
I
they
thought it was-
They
I
did a
thought it
pretty
was-
good job,
it was well
even
done.
though.
They did.
Yeah.
There was so many characters, but they're still able to kind of craft a good story altogether.
Yeah.
They all kind of segued a really well together.
They could have added that extra half hour to it too, and it
Oh,
would have
damn.
been
Yeah.
just
for
as
sure.
good. Yeah,
For sure.
but
So
I think
it's good that they have that 3 hours to really kind of just work on that plot, because I feel like it's really just a story-driven movie. It's not it's not. I mean, they had one big fight scene.
I mean, yeah, the
You know,
movie's
throughout
gonna
the
have,
entire
the
movie,
movie's
but
gonna
it
have
was
to
all
start.
just developing the story and the plot.
Yeah, I know. I'm liking that. I'm liking
Yeah.
that they're kind of stepping away from the action right now and really trying to just develop that story
Mm-hmm.
and really get this last movie, because this is the last movie of Phase 4 or something
Yeah.
like that, or whatever phase it is. That's like the last arc, and then they're starting a whole new arc that has its own new Avengers, because after this 4th movie, Avengers 4, we're not going to see Robert Downey Jr., we're not going to see Thor, we're not going to see Captain America, because all their contracts are up,
Are up. Yeah, exactly.
you know? And so we might see cameos of them coming in,
But not very often.
but we're not going to see like another Captain America movie or another Iron Man movie.
No.
You know what I mean? Unless there's an Iron Man 4 that's coming out, and that's going to be like Robert Downey Jr.'s last movie, which I think I heard something about. But I know that they announced, because Spider-Man Far From Home is supposed to be the start of the very new arc. Of the
okay.
of the new era of Marvel cinematic movies.
Oh, really?
That's the start of it. That's like everything, all that stuff before is now coming to an end.
I just like the direction that Marvel's actually going to where they're actually building a plot. Look at Doctor Strange. They actually built a whole story behind that and the whole background, and that was great. Black Panther had a whole story development in that. It's not like Age of Ultron. It's like, oh well, this and this and this and blah 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 blah. Like it was just a lot of mesh, and then it was
Age of
like a big
Ultron
fight scene, and
by far is the worst Avengers movie or Marvel movie
Thor
so
2.
far.
I'm not the biggest fan of.
I mean, that was pretty bad, but I think Age of Ultron was probably
Ragnarok was good. I like Ragnarok.
Was good.
It was all just
Ragnarok was kind
hokey
of
fun and
it was fun, but it was a pointless movie.
Oh,
it was literally the movie was literally just to bring Hulk back in.
It segued into like what where we are in Infinity Wars, but.
I liked it for its colorfulness.
Yeah, it was different. It was fun.
Because all the other Thor movies at the time had been kind of this like really monotone colors, kind of this kind of monochromatic colors. They had like a really darker look more than something that's bright and brilliant. You know what I mean? And so they really kind of stretched the world building and providing those colors and kind of providing, even in the script writing, they had a colorful kind of play. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where you can kind of see the Thor actor, was his name Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah.
Really kind of come into his character and really kind of
have fun with it.
Yeah, have fun with it. Kind of make jokes and improvising. And he improvised the whole snake scene where Loki turned into a snake and then scared him right at the last moment and turned back into.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like he improvised that whole scene, and so Tom Hiddleston actually laughing was a true laugh. To when he's tied up and him like kind of chuckling, that was like him actually laughing because he wasn't expecting that that kind of like improvisation. You know what I mean? And so really, you kind of see the actor and actors coming into their own in that movie. Yeah, and I kind of appreciated that for what it was.
I just like the development that they're doing. So I'm excited to see what this new phase is actually going to bring out if they're heading into this direction. Because I'm big on plot. I actually had a conversation with a buddy of mine who said, "Oh, and it's not very often that I actually heard someone say it, but there was like, "Oh, Black Panther was boring."
Oh, I've heard it a couple of times too.
Yeah, but
I thought it was weird.
It comes with a certain expectation of, oh, it's gonna be bam, 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 like it's gonna be action and stuff like that. And I told them like, no, I loved it. I thought it was great because they actually built a story around him. It wasn't Black Panther went to go save the world and fuck shit up.
Yeah,
he literally actually had a story built behind him. He went through this whole process.
Don't play Red Dead. That's the barrel. It's so windy. The barrel fell over. Guys, don't play Red Dead because that shit's slow.
Yeah.
But it's good.
But I've heard the same thing.
Yeah.
I've heard people going, "Oh yeah, I hated Black Panther." Actually, I heard a slightly different reason why. They said it was too political. I'm like, I wouldn't say it's political. I mean, yeah, there are political aspects to it, and it came out during a political time, but I think for the most part, everything that happens is pretty accurate to what happens to a normal person.
But that's a funny excuse to me, in my opinion, saying it's too political, because right now we're in a very politically heavy medium.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like our lives right now is very politically heavy.
Yeah.
And you can't help but, like, if you're a writer and you're in this type of
everything
world,
is influenced.
There's influences that you're going to be writing about, especially from a very black heavy, cast. They're going to be writing about those kind of racial implements or those like political implements, and I know there's issues that they had where it's like, Wakanda, why can't they help the rest of Africa or whatever? Like, dude, come on, it's a Marvel movie. Just fucking calm down. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be okay. Because it is fiction. Come on,
don't fucking take it serious.
Right. But at the same time,
if Superman was around, why didn't he fucking help out the Middle East?
Right.
Okay, we can go all over the place with this one, but there's no point to that. The point is that
there are influences, and I think that it's okay to have that in writing, or that
even goes back to Star Wars. Star Wars, I mean, literally the entire Darth Vader and the First Order is all based off of the Nazis.
Oh yeah. Especially the First Order in the newest trilogy. You know what I mean? Like,
is it the first
that scene when he's destroying the planet?
Because the rebels are Luke Skywalker in them.
It's Last Jedi, isn't it? I think there's scenes in The Last Jedi
when
where
he's just talking,
and he's talking out, and he's doing the loud yelling.
Yeah.
I think it's what's his name? Dominic Gleeson or something like that, right?
And he has that German accent.
He has
like
almost
that,
like
a
very
German
presence.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of like like
And
he talks about how they look at that and they kind of influence it.
Or they
because
do
the
stormtroopers.
stormtroopers are actually based off of that kind of that Nazi Germany kind of like army look, or that army because like stormtrooper, there was a section or a division in the army of Nazi Germany that had something that was similar to the sound of stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Or it was like, and it wasn't Blitzkrieg, or it wasn't anything kind of lightning like it. It was like kind of stormtrooper.
And the name is actually directly from the name of the
army.
Of the army.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what the actual name is.
Yeah, and that was back in like the 70s,
Yeah.
kind of Star Wars. You know what I mean? Where George Lucas was taking like implements from that.
Yeah.
So you see like these influences.
Vader is German for father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah. Darth the father.
How old were you when you found out that?
This was like 3 years ago. So this is it was pretty soon.
I was today
Pretty
years
recently. Yeah. Pretty recently. Yeah.
Pretty recently.
But it's all like it's all based off. So you have to be obviously everything's like influenced by political stuff, influenced by what's going on around you. So you can't
unless you're a hermit and you're living under a rock, writing screenplays that are coming from your own mind, you know, and your own experiences of living under a rock. You're going to have influences of the people in the day-to-day around you. Mm-hmm. And the day-to-day around us right now is
very politically heavy.
Is very politically heavy. There's turmoil, there's violence, there's, shootings, there's shit happening all the freaking time, right? And so those creatives who are writing or creating film, you're going to see that influence. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think I appreciate more if they write or make a movie like Black Panther that addresses those issues or addresses those certain concerns to show the the younger crowd too, especially because it's crafted towards them. Like, this is something that we should be embracing or at least talking about and having discussions on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. I appreciate. To me, it just seems like a weak excuse.
It is. It really is. Yeah. It really is, because the movie itself was great.
Other than Michael B. Jordan's acting.
So if it wasn't for the fact that there are...
It was terrible. I'm sorry. I can't.
Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah.
In what scene? I think...
In the entire movie. Like the fucking
entire movie?
The entire
scene? Every scene that he was in, he was fucking terrible.
Was he?
Yeah, I think he was terrible.
I need to rewatch
that. I think
that.
he kind of tried a little too hard.
Yeah.
I think he really pushed that kind of like...
Hi, auntie, like
kind of like, yeah, I don't know, I guess like thug kind of like, I don't know, I think he just pushed it too hard. I think he if he would have kind of calmed it down a little bit, and I think we had a discussion on this right after we saw it together, not together, but after we saw it, we both like, well, let's talk about it kind of thing. But we talked about how if he would have kind of toned it down a little bit, that it would have just been really good. It would have been, because he had the right points. I think he's on the right track. I just think he was being overzealous in his approach.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah,
in his approach to the actual.
I do remember having this conversation. Yeah, I think if he would have been more like just calm and collected, his whole demeanor, his whole presence would have been a little bit more not evil or sinister, but just more intimidating,
believable.
Maybe have a little bit of respect about what he's trying to do. Because
I get it.
He had a good cause to what he was doing. He had a right approach, and and when people are trying to now with their writing, especially like with Daredevil in the first season, and the second season and the third season.
Did you finish season 3, by the way?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I haven't.
When they're taking those villains and they're trying to sympathize and they're trying to create people to be like, oh shit, I really felt something for that person. You know what I mean? Like, right? I think they were trying to have that approach for Black Panther, but Michael B. Jordan kind of just was a little too
A
much.
little too much.
And if he would have toned it down, I think it really would have shown off,
Mm-hmm.
and you would have sympathized more with him than you
Yeah.
would have with with the others, because you
Yeah.
would have been like, wait a minute, no, like that. I saw what happened, and that's like he knows the past, and that, you know what I mean. Like you can kind of see how his approach or his thought process of how it changed because of what happened in his life
Yeah.
with his father. You know, affected everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the reason why he was kind of doing that like revenge type of thing, or I have a right to be here too type of thing.
Yeah.
You know? So all in all, I see where he was coming from, but I think he just a little too much.
Yeah, a little bit, a little too much. But it was a good movie though.
It was a good
I loved it. I loved that movie.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I've only ever watched it
soundtrack.
once.
Good soundtrack.
Oh
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've only seen it once too.
Yeah. But it was
Good
a long
stuff.
movie too.
It was.
It was like
Good
what,
stuff.
2.5
I still haven't
hours?
seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, and that's a Black Friday deal, so I'm thinking of just buying it.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
watch
have
it.
Ant-Man.
Wow, watch it. Definitely watch it. You're gonna
Yeah.
need to watch it before the next one, so you need to watch it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you're gonna need to watch it.
Because that happened right after Infinity War, right? Or should I have watched
Yes, it was after.
You haven't watched Infinity War?
I watched Infinity War,
Oh, okay,
but I'm wondering
yeah.
if Ant-Man and Wasp occurred
After.
It
Yeah.
occurred after.
Yeah.
Or
Or like
'Cause-
right at the same time or something.
'cause
like that.
closer to the same time.
So no, it's definitely after because in the beginning of the movie he's on house arrest for leaving and going and fighting for the Avengers or with the
No,
Avengers.
It's during
Civil War,
if
right?
if you gotta
Civil War.
remember.
Yeah. Okay. No, I know the timeline. I know where we're at.
Or sorry, after Civil War.
Yeah.
It's during
Infinity.
Infinity War.
It's like
Yeah,
a
my
branch.
bad. I'm
Yeah.
getting my movies confused.
Yeah, I was like,
But
no.
it's after Civil
It's
War,
after Civil
during
War, during.
Infinity War. Yeah, you need to watch it.
Cool.
Ah.
That's not going on the podcast.
Fuck no, it's not.